Hello, Latin 2. We are now on chapter 45's translation. So we're on page 183, the story of Pyramus and Thisbe. And before we get started, I wanted to show you this. This here is a book, or a workbook, that I did where one summer I just sat down and did all the work that I make you guys do. And it's all there, every single exercise, and that's why I determined what we could do and what we couldn't do, what order they best worked in, and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. I'm curious as to seeing what my chapter 45 looked like back then as compared to now, because this was roughly 10-15 years ago that I did this. Let's see, let's take a look. Here we go. Here it is. I'm hoping that I was faithful to the text right there, and we will see. So, chapter 45, Pyramus and Thisbe. Once long ago in Babylon lived the most beautiful certain young man named Pyramus. Yeah, okay, so clearly I wasn't actually respectful of the text. I was kind of giving better English, and I think I probably made my decisions after. So I'm not going to go from this. I will actually go straight from the text, and you will struggle with me as we go. So, once upon a time in Babylon, a certain most beautiful young man was living in Babylon, named Pyramus. In the neighboring home, a maiden to whom the name was Thisbe was living. Pyramus, by chance, loved this maiden, who had been spotted, having been spotted in the road. He loved her immediately. And Thisbe, once Pyramus had been, or with Pyramus having been seen, was seized by love. But alas, the parents of the maiden and the young man, since they were arguing amongst themselves for many years already, they forbade these two, or them, Eos, to meet. Let's see. It was not even allowed for Pyramus to see Thisbe. They were very sad, both the young man and the maiden. There was a wall, a common wall between the two, or to the two houses. So that's a dative of reference. It's technically what's called a dative of advantage, too. It's a common wall to them. And a dative advantage is essentially a kind of reference, but it means it's of some benefit to them. However, there was a small crack, a small crack was discovered by the lovers, seen by no one, having been seen by no one before. What does love not notice? Let's see. Sitting at that crack, at this same crack, quam is qui quae quod, but it means like this specific thing that we were talking about before. So you could treat it as that, or as this, or at which. Sitting at which crack, between each other, they were talking in secret. One expressing love to the other. But soon, with kisses given to the wall, they, unwilling, were saying goodbye. At last, they seized a new plan, for they decided, with their parents not knowing, to go out of their house, or to go out of the house at night, and to gather into the forest. And frankly, I think the book should have done in Silois, but I understand because they're heading into it, that's why it's into. To meet into the forest, just to sit down under a certain tree. And so Thisbe, in the silence of the night, when she had hidden her face with a veil, stealthily she hurried toward the woods, or toward the forest, having head out. When she had arrived there, she sat down under that tree. However, behold, a savage lion came, its mouth sprinkled or spattered with the blood of a cow. With this lion having been seen, or with this having been spotted, Thisbe, terrified, fled for safety into a cave which was nearby. And while she flees, she leaves behind her veil. And these are both present tense because it's in the middle of the action. Let's see. The lion, with its bloody mouth, seized this veil, this same veil. Again, qui quo quod, you're using a relative pronoun to point out the specific thing. Seized this same veil, but soon put it down. Did I say with its bloody mouth? Okay, well, with its bloody mouth, seized this same veil and soon put it down. But hardly a little later, Pyramus, having left from the city, while he heads toward the same tree, he spotted lion tracks, or the tracks of a lion. Suddenly, he spotted the veil of the girl sprinkled with blood, or spattered with blood. Trembling with fear, he shouted, "What happened?" "Alas, I killed you, my Thisbe, because I ordered you to come into the forest at night alone, and I did not come before. I do not wish to live without you." And therefore, with his sword having been drawn, he wounded himself and fell to the ground, dying. Behold, her fear not yet let go of or put down, with her fear not yet having been put down, Thisbe timidly or frightenedly comes out of the cave, and she seeks Pyramus. Suddenly, she spots the body of him lying on the ground. With many tears, and here multis cum lacrimis is manner, it's not ablative absolute. With many tears, she shouts, "Pyramus, who did this?" From there, with her veil having been spotted, she now, intending to die, shouts, "Oh, poor me! My veil killed you. I do not wish to live without you." And she herself killed herself with the sword of Pyramus. The parents, moved by sadness, buried them in the same tomb. The end. So I did my best to be respectful of the ablative absolutes that are in there, also of the cum clauses, as well as all the tenses that are there. If you found any mistakes, feel free to correct me and point out, oh, that should have been pluperfect. But I'm hoping you took your red pen and you went through the whole thing. So there you go. That is chapter 45. It's really big about participles and such. Now, if you want extra work with participles, I strongly recommend you do 45C again for review. If you want to send it to me, just do the odd numbers and send those to me for feedback. I'm more than happy to give you feedback. If you want to do a participle tree, take a look at exercise 45B again and review the participle trees and do those the appropriate way. And that's the going down and this and then this. I might do a lesson on participle trees, but that was so long ago. I will if you ask me to. Otherwise, I'll assume that you know it. Other than that, there's some fun stories in there. The word study is all kinds of fun, but you already did that. The next time I translate with you, it will be review 10, exercise 10C, and then also I'll probably do 10F, and then we'll be on to chapter 46, and we will get caught up. This one was particularly long. Apologies for that. I'm hoping that they shorten up, but I don't know. Let me know if you like it better all in one shot, or if you prefer it chunked out into 5-minute bits. All right, I'm going to push the button.